Hello, beautiful dancers. We are going to talk about some stuff today, and I just want you to know that it comes from a place of love and kindness, and honestly, my responsibility to support you. So, why is this titled The Pep Talk You Didn't Know You Needed? The more that I post content, the more that I talk about the mindset and the thought work behind belly dance, the more you all tell me how much you needed to hear this, how much you're being greatly impacted by your thinking that is seemingly negative or getting in your way, or you're just tired of having these same negative thoughts over and over again and hoping that you can just keep it positive. Just keep going, keep your head down, do the stuff, and you just want to get there and not actually be right where you are in this negative thinking. And I say negative thinking in the colloquial sense of it's not wanted, right? Versus positive thinking, which is the thoughts that you want to think about yourself as you belly dance and how that relates back to your body. So when I hear these things, what I tend to hear from you all is that there's a lack of trust in your own process and also a lack of belief in you all. So I wanted to take this entire video to tell you how freaking amazing you are and that you have the ability within yourself to belly dance, to be confident in you, to be confident in a skill set that you are creating while you learn belly dance, that you are amazing just the way you are, with all the things that you think are great about you and with all the things that you think are not so great about you. You are beautiful. When you look in the mirror, you are someone to be appreciated. You are someone to be highlighted and painted with beautiful colors all around you, or any colors that you choose. I love neutrals, so sometimes my colors are being painted with neutrals. But really, you are an amazing human being. And there are moments where it may require more courage and bravery on your part to get what you want. So for example, in belly dancing, sometimes that shit is scary. You are putting yourself out there, and our world is full of judgment, right? And while you put yourself out there, there's this fear of some kind of backlash. And if you've been watching the videos, you know that some of the recent ones, I've talked about what will people think of you and embarrassment, and you were told not to. And the reason why people don't start, or when they do start, this combative thought work that's happening and this internal struggle that's happening, right? Putting yourself out there in the face of all of this happening is courageous and it is brave, because you are literally just allowing for other people to do this thing to you, right? To say whatever. But the thing is that people will say anything, right? That's why I'm saying you put yourself out there, and there's this acceptance, maybe not allowed, but there's this acceptance that happens when people say stuff, because people have their own opinions. They're entitled to them, right? But the thing that happens after that is that we make it true. We make their judgments true. And I want to tell you that half of it is bullshit. A lot of it's bullshit. They're going to judge you anyway, whether or not you had actually put yourself out there. They were going to say comments just because that's their sole job, to go on the internet and say shitty things about other people. And so when you're doing all of it, in spite of knowing that there's judgments coming, in spite of your internal thinking happening, that is brave and that is courageous. And you get to acknowledge that about yourself, because you do have it in you. The other thing that I see is that you truly don't believe that belly dancing to reach your goals won't work. This is where the lack of trust in your own decisions come in a bit. And also this doubt that if you do this and it doesn't work, then what? Like if you do belly dancing and then you don't tone your belly, then what? Right? If you do belly dancing, but then it doesn't pan out as expected, then what? Right? If you're doing it because it reduces stress, but then it doesn't reduce stress, then what? Right? It's that follow-up question of like, then what? And a lot of the time, you let yourself go down this rabbit hole of then it just shows me that I was correct to be doubtful. I was correct to be like, this is useless and hopeless, and all of my insecurities just got reiterated. But I want you to really take on that that is just not the case if you don't want it to be. So when you're thinking of when I put myself out there and it doesn't work the way that I had expected it to, instead of quitting altogether or having it reiterate your doubt, your hopelessness, your lack of belief in yourself, or any kind of insecurities, why not just take a step back and be like, yo, what is my expectation? What am I expecting of myself in this process? Like, have I talked to other people and just seen where other people are? Is this a normal part of the process to not get the move in the first 3 months of dancing, right? Like just really dialoguing with yourself and getting curious versus, see, it didn't work. I told you, I can't tone my belly. Nothing will work for me. I'm not gonna do it anymore, right? So really, I want you to really deep dive into yourself and just be like, yo, I have everything I need to learn this art form and to get what I want out of it, to be expressive, to feel graceful and beautiful, to get exercise in, to reduce stress, to increase your relaxation status through your day, right? To represent this culture, to listen to beautiful music and then just feel moved by it and not letting other people's judgments stop you from doing it. You have everything within you to do that, but we tend to stop and quit versus just dialoguing with ourselves about, how can I make this work? What am I expecting of myself? What is working right now? How am I showing up, right? Finding all the evidence for how it is going in your favor. Because remember, you are brave, you are courageous, you are amazing, right? You get to start believing that about yourself as if that were the truth, right? And yes, it is an opinion, but why not choose your own high opinion of yourself versus someone else's shitty opinion of which you don't even want about you, right? It takes the same amount of mental energy to look at two thoughts and start to believe one or the other. The reason why it's harder to believe that you're worth it, to believe that you're like deserving of kindness and love and support, is because you've spent more time over here believing that you're not. And it's just like a muscle. When you go to the gym, right? When you go to the gym and you've been working out this one muscle, I'm gonna do biceps all day. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I need to do triceps. And you're like, it's so weak. Oh, I just can't do it. I'm just gonna stop. It'd be like, what? No, you just have to go at a slower pace with lighter weights, get the technique, and then start going. But you wouldn't give up on your triceps. You'd have like bulging biceps and like very small like triceps, right? It would feel a little like unbalanced. But it'd be like, it's not that I'm not gonna work on my triceps. I'm just gonna start where I am and build from there. And it's the same with your thought work and believing in yourself, because you are amazing, you are beautiful, you are confident. You can start to trust your choices. You can start to acknowledge that the progress that you are making is good and it is enough, not in comparison to someone else's process. Because I tell you what, they're comparing their process to you, thinking that they're not good enough. And how is that helping anybody? Right? But when you focus on your own process and be like, this is what my progress looks like, this is what my next step is, then there's nowhere to go but forward for yourself. Because there's no guideline on where you're supposed to be, right? So you can start believing in yourself, start building that confidence. And I want you all to know, and I've said this before, borrow my belief in you until you get yours where you want it to be. Borrow my belief in you while you build your own belief in yourself. I believe hard in you. You have it. You can do it. You've got this. You can learn belly dancing. You can get what you want out of belly dancing. Start to allow those conversations that happen in your head to still be there, and don't resist it. The conversations of I can't do this, the conversations of it's too hard, the conversations of I don't have time, the conversations of it won't work. Allow those to happen, because when you've been suppressing it or trying to resist it or trying to escape it this whole time, they just come back. Versus, okay, I hear you, and I'm still gonna do this over here. And I choose to be courageous. And I'm gonna still move forward, right? Because those things won't go away. No matter how much work you do, that is human nature, right? They may lessen or change or get in or impact you less. Absolutely, that can happen. I still have negative thoughts about my body. I still have negative thoughts about my belly dancing. I still have negative thoughts about other people's judgment on me. I just don't marinate in it, and I don't linger in it anymore. And I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, people are gonna judge me. People are gonna call me fat. People are gonna be like, you can't dance. People are gonna be like, oh, what are you doing? You shouldn't be doing this. Don't quit your day job. That's great. Thanks for your opinion. And anyway, I'm gonna go over here and do it because I still believe in myself, because at the core of it, believing in yourself and trusting in your ability to do it and to learn and to try and building that resilience is the thing that will pull you forward, right? So borrow my belief in you, borrow my confidence in you, borrow my trust in you while you build your own, because you can do it. You can learn belly dancing. You can get everything you want out of it. You can belly dance freely and gracefully and expressively, just the way that you want, and reach your goals. Okay? So I really want you to take the time to be like, how is this working for me? How am I making progress? And don't diminish what you're doing, right? Because some of you are like, but that's not good enough. What? What? Don't diminish any progress that you're doing. Remember, small steps over lots of time make big changes. I keep telling my students this all the time. I'm like, no, you are amazing right now. Nothing changed. How is it working for you? How can you acknowledge the process, the progress that you're making now? How can we focus on the 1% progress? How can we focus on the next step? Not the next 40 steps, just the next step. I love telling them this because then it becomes more manageable. So that courage, that bravery, that belief in yourself is the catalyst, is the thing that will have you take the next step, is the thing that will have you learn belly dance, is the thing that will help you start trusting your own choices and that you can do it, that you don't have to quit. Granted, there are some reasons and moments that quitting is gonna feel like the best choice that you can make. Really, I understand, because I've done it before. And I was like, quitting wasn't actually the right answer for me. It wasn't the answer that would have served me best, right? But in the moment, it feels like it does because, like I was saying earlier, we escape the feeling because we don't want to feel like we're failing. We don't want to feel like we're not good enough. We don't want to feel like we don't belong. We don't want to feel like it's not working because it reiterates that insecurity, that fear that we have, right? But it's not going to be the thing that's going to really propel you forward. I love you all so very much. Feel free to check out my online belly dance classes. I tell this to my members all the time. You're amazing, you're confident, you can trust your choices, you're making progress, you're right where you need to be, right? Start telling yourself that now and see what that can open up for you. Check out my classes. The link is in the description below, and I look forward to seeing you in the studio. Have a great one, everybody.